Um, okay, so oh well, we're gonna start on the first day, on the first one. So we're looking at your okay. If it's okay if you don't have your book, hopefully, if you guys can check your emails really fast, I sent you PDFs. Like it's just like a this of pictures of the book. If you just make sure you have the PDFs. I sent to everyone's OK State email. Did everyone get it? Perfect. So she, did you get it? You just gave me like a little thumbs up on the. Oh, chat. Where is it, chat? Still checking. Okay. Perfect. Okay, good. Okay, so we're looking at flashbacks and We Are Okay. So just a refresher, a flashback is when I'm gonna move you guys down here. A flashback is when a scene in a movie or novel is set in an earlier time than the main story. So three essential questions that we're just going to kind of be looking at is when is this part of the story taking place? What textual clues give us as the readers um, that doesn't really make sense, but to understand the time and setting, what textual clues are there, and then how does this benefit our understanding of the entire storyline. So I'm going to begin by just briefly sharing from chapter 5, and I just am gonna show you guys how I kind of think through it, and then we're gonna do this 3-column chart. We'll take it in steps. So I'm gonna insert a text box right here, and basically just some of the questions that I asked myself is just what has just happened in the story. What was the plot setting? So what was the setting in the beginning? And if you guys want to open up the chapter 5 PDF, and you can kind of just follow along if you want and just kind of see. So I gave you in the PDF the first few the ending pages of chapter 4, and then all of chapter 5, and then the beginning of chapter 6. You do not have to read any of it. Just kind of give you guys a refresher. But and then just who was in this scene, just everything about the setting, who was there, stuff like that. So we're gonna begin by looking at the end of kind of just all of chapter 4, because it kind of gives you all of it. But on page 34. I'm just going to put the notes so then you guys can just listen. But Mabel and Marion are in Marion's room at school. We know that she's in school because I'm going to also try and see it in my book because I marked it. But we know that she's in school because at the beginning of that, Mabel had just entered her room and they were talking about Hannah. And it's just them two in this chapter. There's no other characters in this scene. Most of the current characters are just them two. And then they discuss Marion being present at college, struggling with money, her relationship with her Gramps, and overall confronts things of their past. So since you guys are just listening, I'm not going to type all of that, but hopefully you get the gist of what I'm asking, what kind of questions. And then the flashback is chapter 5. That's the main chunk that I've been looking at. And it's basically, they change the characters and they change the setting. So the setting, because of the first line in chapter 5, we know that, wow, I'm not even, hold on. In chapter 5, it's not even until the next page that we realize as the reader, we can kind of tell because Gramps is in the picture, and so we're Gramps wasn't in the college dorm, but we realize that he was downstairs jingling his keys, and a moment later when he walked in whistling. So that gives us as the audience to know that like they're in a different setting, and then the entire story is, or this chapter is a flashback, because it was in past tense, and the chapter kind of gives it away because it says May. But it just says that, like, it's just a flashback of their relationship, and then of her relationship with Gramps. And then in chapter 6, it discusses, so then we know that it goes out of the flashback because there's not a month, but we know that it says we're waiting at the bus stop in the snow. Mabel was already showered and dressed by the time I woke up. So not only do we know that we're back in normal time, and that was a flashback, that we know that it's the next morning because, like, by the time she woke up, Mabel had already showered. So we're using textual evidence to find the flashback. Okay, and so now all together we're just really, okay, I'll send this. Okay, I hate that this little bar shows up. We're gonna go, and I'm gonna copy this so you guys can get on it. And we're just really briefly gonna do this all together. And you guys can edit. Okay. Oh, I forgot to copy it. Copy. And then I'll put it in. Oh, I hate trying to get the chat up. There it is. Okay. There's the chat. If you guys can just jump on that link really fast. Hopefully it'll give you guys editing. Can you guys work with it? Does it work? Okay. And so we're just going to work our way through this all together. And we're going to be looking at, and it says 2 to 3. We're just going to work with 1 because I switched our activities from what y'all are going to do and then this. But we're going to be looking at chapter 7. So if you can pull up the chapter 7 PDF. And we're just going to kind of collaborate all together and just talk it out. And if one person or multiple people want to write on this, like using the sticky notes, please, I welcome that. But we're just going to be walking through. So what can anyone remember now, looking at the PDF, what happens at the end of chapter 6? Are we all are you guys okay? Are you guys like following? Okay, I just want to make sure. I feel like I kind of talked a little fast.
I feel like the only thing that I can remember just from reading the first page of chapter 7 is that she's applying for that pottery job, or that they were out shopping for Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
And she buys, I get the names confused. I think it's Marin, or either Marin, I think it's Marin. Marin buys Mabel that special, I think it's a bowl.
Yes, there's a bowl. Yeah.
Yes. That's the big thing I remember.
Good job. Okay, so we'll add. Where are the sticky notes? Okay, so Caitlin, Mabel and Marin are, they're out shopping.
They're out shopping, and then Mabel applies to work at the pottery store, and buys a bowl for her friend, or Mary, Mabel, whatever. The two
names. I get what you're saying. Okay. Anyone else? What else can you guys remember from that? Where are they? Annie, do you remember where they might, where the setting is, the location?
They're still in, it's New York City, right?
Huh? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're in New York City. What season is it?
Winter, because it's all snowy and icy.
Good job. Okay. What other questions can we ask? So it was just Marin and Mabel. There's no one else at this point. I guess the workers, but they don't count. Oh my gosh, not Bay. Mabel. Okay. So we'll move on. That was 3, so that's good. So we're all on the same page. So Madison, we're all good, like on the same page. Okay. And then, so now we're gonna work with the flashback. So the entire chapter 7 flashes back, and I'm gonna see if you guys will just on this one just write one comment of like what like any of the questions that we've asked of who's there. Do you guys have? Yeah, you guys have access to this. Who's there? Like, where are they? What's happening? Is there conflict? Any of those questions or any question you have.
Sorry, Jordy. Can you state the instructions again?
Yeah, just one comment that you guys find important that kind of helps us realize that this is a flashback. So, is the setting something specific? Like, where are they? What are they doing? Who was there? And how? What just kind of, if you have like a specific page, like that'd be great too. Just kind of to find some textual clues of like how we know that this is a flashback. I'm also gonna grab my charger because my laptop is about to die. And if you guys repeat the like similar things, like that's completely okay. Wow, so she is typing oh, that's okay. Is it this one? Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know how to transfer them.
You're good. I'll copy and paste it for you. You're good.
Oh, thank you. I wrote 2. It was just the
Oh, you wrote 2. Okay.
yeah.
I'll do the other one too.
Here, I'll do that too.
Which other one was it? This one?
Yeah, it's this one right here. Yeah. It was already stated, but I just kind of saw. So, thank you.
Okay. I'm not save that. Oops. Oh, they're like stacked. That's what's going on. Perfect. Okay, good job. Would two people like to share, like just briefly, like what you wrote?
I wrote that a lot of the words that were used were past tense, I wish I can read it from here. Javier would open was on the first page, or she said, I had caught or I had felt during the narration parts of it.
Yeah,
So lots of that.
so a lot of past tense. That's good. One more person?
For mine, I just talked about like the setting. It was in California, and that like kind of what was going on. So like they were giving Mabel's parents like a fashion show, and that Marion seemed happier then than she does like in the present moment.
Yeah. So like her demeanor has kind of changed. You can tell that the time was different. That's really good. Okay. Well, I don't have a thank you page, but that's it. So thank you guys for participating. I'm gonna stop sharing. And then
Good job.
I think it's off. Is it recording? Nope. Mute.
This
This isn't mine, it's still recording.
same